Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you. Today I'm going to play with one of these Sale-A-Bration products. Sale-A-Bration starts tomorrow, and this is where you get to select merchandise from a special little catalog based on the amount that you spend. So for every $60, you get to select an item. And this is one of the items. It's called Corner and Bloom. And you can see there's some pretty flower stamps that go around the corner and some straight stamps and little flowers. And there's just a lot of variety in this stamp set. So this is one of those items. Today I'm going to combine that with an embossing folder, and I have picked out this Distressed Tile 3D folder. It gives a really pretty background, a nice texture. So I'm going to use that, and I've got a piece of Pool Party cardstock. So I'm going to start with this and run it through the machine, and then we'll get back to the regular card making, but I want to get this done first. So I'll flip the camera down to my work area here. You can see I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine ready to go. I've got my gray plate, which is number 4, and I'm going to run that through with the embossing folder. So let's put that through with, like I said, Pool Party, and then in a second I'm going to show you what other colors I've picked to work with today. So now I'm going to move this so I have a clear workspace here. So here's my embossing folder. And it really is a pretty texture, and it's not, it is distressed, so some parts it's more flat. I just think it's really cool. I'm going to compare that. I'm working with shades of blue. This is Balmy Blue. You can see I've cut it on the long side. This was an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I've already scored it down the middle. So I now have a traditional 4 1/4 by 5.5 with my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Pool Party going over the top. Now, out of the, I think it's called Dandy Designs, it's still available as last chance, but there were a lot of fun prints, and this combines the colors that I'm working with. So I've just got a strip of paper that I'm going to use across this. I'm going to go ahead and cut it now, and then I'll be done with my cutting board here, my cutting tool. So I'm doing this at 4 inches as well. I had thought about going lengthwise with this and then decided no, I was going to stick with it standard. I used a deckled rectangle die to cut this out, so this is what I'm going to stamp on. And what I'm going to do, so I'm matching my colors. I've got Pool Party, and then I've got this Balmy Blue. So what I'm going to do, today I'm using this stamp and doing it in these shades of blue. I think it looks a little bit like a lupin flower. You tell me what you think. But I'm just going to simply stamp this. I'm going to do 3 stamps, and I want some room at the top for a sentiment. So I'm going to go 1, and that was the Balmy Blue. And now I'm going to take this Pool Party and I'm going to overlap. I'm going to make this one just a smidge lighter. I'm just trying to get some different colors here. There. And then I have borrowed a sentiment from Citrus Blooms. I needed something small to go across the top. And so this says, just checking in. So what I will show you now is what I've stamped. The only other thing that I want to do to this, I like having 2 tones there. It's going to combine well with my papers and my colors. This is Granny Apple Green, and if you look, there's just a little bit of green in this pretty plaid. I'm just going to color in some of these leaves. So I'm adding a 3rd color and a couple of the stems too, where the stems show and it's not overlapped too much. I'm just going to give it this little hint of green. I'll make that. It kind of brings it to the foreground if I color the leaf right there. And there's another stem, little stem there, and a stem here. So it's just, like I said, it's a hint of color. And I'm not even going to use my blender pen to make it look like watercolor. That's all I'm doing is just simply adding a little bit of that pale green. The one other thing I think I want to do to this, I don't want to leave the white edges. So I am just going to tap, tap, And the more you angle it, the more you get onto your paper. So I am putting a bit of an angle here. Let's see if I've got it all the way around. Yes. So now let me hold a corner. There we go. Just checking in. 2 shades of blue. I'm working in that blue series. If you're looking at a color wheel, I've added green just because it's in the paper and it'll pair up well. But it's very, very simple. So now you can see I'm ready to start assembling, and I'm going to go from the bottom up. So because this is distressed, even the debossed side, so you know one side always pushes up and the other side, it has it like imprinted into, this is the debossed side. Even that's really pretty, but I'm going to use the debossed side for adhesive. So I will use my Stamp and Seal. Put it along the edges to hold it down, a little bit in the middle just to hold it steady, and then frame it so I've got both colors showing all the way around. There we go. And now I'm simply going to add this strip across the middle and just kind of center it up. It could go up, it could go down. I'm just going to eyeball it. Not an exact science. And then I think I'm going to put dimensionals behind this. I want to make this pop off the page just a little bit. You can see I'm about out of another sheet of dimensionals, but that's fine because I'll just use up all these scraps and pieces. It works just fine to give some support to this image. Corner, along the side, a little bit in the middle. Let's see, let's put one more up at the top here. All right, and now I will use my Take Your Pick tool to pull all these off because it's more than just 3 or 4. So let's pull these off. That one still didn't want to come. It does take a little flick to do that. If you notice, I'm digging into it and then kind of flicking it off. Let's get that out of the way. And the one in the middle, I'm not even going to worry about it. It's just there for support. I don't really need that to hold it down. So again, I'm just eyeballing. There we go. Last but not least, 2 things. I'm going to add some Wink Estella to the flowers. So give it that shimmer. I have to be careful not to grab the green. If I pull a little bit of the ink, you know, from the flowers, I think that's fine. But if I did get the pencil, it would pull the green into the flowers, and that's not what I'm after. I just want the flowers to have a little bit of sparkle. And now I do have a bow. And again, this was Pool Party. So I've stuck with my 2 colors. And here are my glue dots. So let me put my, I like this Pool Party because it's very sheer. And I'm just going to stick that in the middle here. I will put an insert in this later. And I probably am not going to stamp anything. Well, if anything, it would be another one of these flowers that would go on the inside. But it's a very simple, but it's kind of elegant. You know, when you see the embossing and then the paper and then the flowers, it's just a nice sentiment. And I said in the beginning, to me, this looked like lupin flowers. Well, I did it in purples yesterday, just playing around, and put a plaid. I did use the Tasteful Textures for the background here, and now it kind of looks like lavender. But I did the same thing, 2 shades of purple, and then I added just a hint of green on the leaves. So 2 different ways, 2 different looks. You could even play with doing this. I did that too. I played with going sideways with just a smaller strip of paper with the blues. A lot of versatility with this stamp set. So look forward to this being available starting tomorrow. The new catalog will go live tomorrow as well. January 7th is a big day. So there's a lot coming. If you like the products and the projects you've seen here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative, and I'm on the Stampin' Up! Network. It's Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining. Stay tuned for the next video.